Our discussion on mental health continues this hour. It is Bell Let's Talk Day, and one of the powerful voices in the conversation is CTV National News correspondent Paul Hollingsworth, who has a very personal story. Paul joins us live from Halifax this afternoon. So nice to see you once again. Paul, you were a university student back in the early 1990s when your brother Bryce died. So first of all, maybe you can tell us a bit about your brother and your relationship and what he meant to you.
Well, good day to you, and thank you for having me on the show. Any day I can talk about Bryce, it's a good day. I mean that sincerely. He's with me every day. I walk with him every day. I talk to him every day. I try to make him proud of me every day. But I also never lose sight of the role that he played in my life and the story that he represents in my life. He was my big brother, 3 years older than me. We shared bunk beds, shared a bedroom. We played sports together. We actually had similar friendship groups that overlapped. And his life changed a little bit. He started to, his personality started to alter. He became a darker version of the person that I knew. He would withdraw from friendships. And then when he got into his early 20s, he sort of went down the path of drug abuse and alcohol abuse. And on the week before Christmas, December 16th, 1991, I was in the middle of Christmas exams at St. Mary's University, and he took his life. I found him on a Monday morning at his apartment, and it's one of those moments that, you know, I cried my last tears for this many decades ago, but the emotion I feel for him and the presence he has in my life is arguably stronger than it ever has been before. I can tell you, starting with that moment in 1991, one of the most meaningful relationships, if not the most meaningful relationship I have in my life, is with a person I haven't seen in 35 years. So he's with me each day, especially on a day like today, Bell Let's Talk Day.
And certainly it's hard to hear about it, but I can imagine it's not easy to open up on this front. A couple of years ago, you wrote a very powerful piece about Bryce's story, and you said you wished you had talked to him about mental health back when you were 21. Can you walk us through what you wish you had addressed and how you wished you might have said it?
Oh, I could write a book about what I wish on that subject. I mean, look, we don't know each other well. If I have a failing in my life, is that I'm sensitive. One of my strengths is that I'm sensitive. So being sensitive can get you in a bit of trouble and a bit of turmoil inside. So I've been very hard on myself in the past that I didn't identify what was going on in his life. And in hindsight, I've accused myself of not being my brother's keeper. Now, to be reasonable, back in the 1990s, early 1990s, we didn't talk about mental health like we do today. So I'd love to go back in time and have a revisionist version of myself who could address these things, but that's not possible. What I've learned is that I should have talked to him. I should have been aware of the warning signs. I should have engaged more into his life. I should have reminded him how important it was for him to be a part of my story and for me to be a part of his story. He was my best friend. He was the most important male influence I've ever had in my life. And he's gone. He's 25 years old forever. So what do I take from that? I take the fact that everything I didn't do 35 years ago, I try to do now in my community, in my friendship groups, in my professional work environment, every single day. If I have one singular mission, it's to leave my province and my country a little bit better than the way I found it when it comes to these matters, because I want to make up for what happened 35 years ago, and who knows, maybe spare another Bryce Hollingsworth in our community from a similar fate, and maybe share a family like our family, that kind of grief that they could go through.
Oh, well, Paul, no doubt people watching out there, someone watching out there is struggling. We know what the stats are, and I'm sure your story resonates. Thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. It's good to see you again, and have a great day.
I'm glad you're well. Thank you. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth joining us from Halifax. And by the way, Paul started a scholarship at St. Mary's University in Halifax in honor of his brother Bryce. For those who have lost a sibling or a parent, if you are in crisis, please go to the closest hospital or call 911. If you're thinking about suicide, Canada has a great resource. You can call or text 988 toll-free anytime.